Welcome to another episode of Roll or Die. Today you're in for a treat. We have one of the OGs of Australian Jiu-Jitsu scene here, Mr. Andrew Devitt. Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Andrew.
So, Andrew and I have known each other for years, probably nine years. So, I met him when I was a blue belt. He was a brown belt, I think. Would you say you were probably the world's longest brown belt? How long did you stay at brown belt, Andrew?
I got no idea how long I was at brown belt for. If it's no, I think I'm the most retired comeback person in BJ.
Yeah. What was
and then he got his.
Oh, sorry.
He got his black belt from Gerald Batty.
Oh, really? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, who we also have had on the show. Yeah. So it's a funny little world. So yeah.
Well, I'd love to know, like, to start this off, Andrew, by knowing, like, at brown belt, like, you'd think you knew you wanted to do jiu-jitsu, right? So how come, like, what was the kind of the retiring coming back? What goes on in the mind of a jiu-jitsu practitioner in that journey?
I had a bit of a rough trot there in about 2012.
Let's tell that story, Andrew. Better for you to tell that. Anton loves a story, a comeback story.
I love it.
This is what this podcast is all about, and no one's got a better story than you. So I know there's some legal implications around it, but yeah, do your best if you can to tell your story.
Well, back in 2012, over my child Ivy and Elizabeth, she passed away.
Oh man.
Anyway, she passed away, and I was a bit down.
Pretty tragic circumstances. I don't know if you can disclose too much about those circumstances, or
no, she passed with a blood clot. That's as far as I'll go into it. Anyway, so here I am.
But she was pregnant as well. Can you say that, or she was pregnant with twins that they had? So he has a.
It's so it's just me and Ivy. I'm having a bit of a rough trot there, and a bit down on the world, and it just got to a point where I was juggling work, raising my little girl, and I wasn't right in the mental space. So I think like the sixth time I retired, I just said, "No, I'll give up and I retire."
Wow. Yeah.
So and a few more years on, and after I met Kim and started hanging out with her, I think she's the one that really dragged me back in and got me back into competition. She was picking on me too.
I was only a blue belt at the time, you know those crazy blue belts that think they know everything, and obviously he was a brown belt that outweighed me by 50 odd kilos or so, and I was still like, yeah, come on. He had his mats in the garage, we put them down, he started showing me some stuff, tried to show me takedowns. What do we say about that? Not very successfully, unfortunately. I didn't quite take to them, but so I really can't take any credit for your comeback, Andrew. I think you did have quite a few, but they were short-lived.
You got me ass moving when you started picking on me, so I thought, I've got to get.
Was that like therapy for you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, has jiu-jitsu always been a happy place for you, or have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not for his opponents. They call him the Devastator. He's very, very brutal on his opponents. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
You got the name of Thomas Ruderman, the Devastator. Look, you can tell when I have been out of BJJ for too long. I get grumpy, I get a bit nuts, and the first thing that anyone who's around me at the time will just say, "Get your gi, piss off the training, don't come back until you can see a dramatic shift between my moods and being angry and all that type of business. And go angry, come back, I'm peaceful, nirvana and zen.
I love it, man. So good.
Yeah, and going back, so taking a step back before you got your brown belt, I reckon you talked about the highlight of probably your journey was your bout in Bali. Was that an MMA fight, or was that a grappling fight where you won a belt? I'm surprised the belt's not there in the background, to be honest. It was like a WWE belt style thing. So can you tell us about that?
the best belt ever. It has cigarette advertisements on the side of it. Indonesian does. It is classic. Yeah, so I thought I'd get away and I'll go to Bali for a bit of time by myself back in 2012 because just trying to get my head straight. Problem being, I went when it was like a end of season trips for football and schoolies, so it's just the worst time for humanity around in Kuta Beach. So I just had a terrible time on that holiday, and then the last day of flying out, my friend Beck Atwood, she hit me up and said, "There's a competition on, go and do it." I was like, no. Went back to my hotel room, watched the Conan the Barbarian movie, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. I was like, yeah, I'm in for this. I'm doing it. Went in, paid me entrance fee, and is there anyone in Indonesia, that's going to be a heavyweight? Fair enough, a few big boys there. Got a yank to the first round. He was like Jeff. He was 100-something kilos. But yeah, had a good run in there. And then by the end of it, I was gassing the whole way through. I was terrible. And then got to the final match and it was just like, bang, all right, you got this. I think I ended up finishing off with like a rolling leg bar from got around behind me, was giving me a hug. Much hug, I just wanted the leg. So
you were ahead of your time. 2012, no one was
playing
the legs back then. Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got yourself a big belt, like a kind of like a Naga style belt, yeah?
Shiny gold. It's like a WWE belt. It's absolutely. But as of course, I get back to Australia and getting all the congratulations. And then my brother rings me up and says, "Oh, what was it? Who are you kidding? There's no one over 99 kilos in Indonesia. You can't buy a belt and come back and expect to beat an Indonesian champion. You're a fake." We got down a peg.
That's so good. I reckon you're the first person who's ever been inspired to compete from watching Conan the Barbarian. Like, I think that's a box not many people have ticked.
Maybe they just didn't admit it, Anton. Surely there's people out there the same. So, yeah.
I tell you what.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. So good.
Yeah. So you've been doing it a long time. Like going back, step us through like when you started, what got you into it. Were you doing other martial arts? Like, how did you start jiu-jitsu?
I started jiu-jitsu because I was just an asshole when I was younger. In the 20s, I was getting drunk, getting into fights, and I was just being a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then I heard of this joint Hanger 4, and I'd watched UFC 1, and I was like, oh, jiu-jitsu, I'll give it a crack. So I lobbed into this place, and the original Hanger 4 down there at Essen Airport. And this bloke to me was like a Dave, Gerald, and you got the Doug Major and all those boys, and just walked in and they absolutely handed me an ass. They threw me right from there. I was like, right, my goal is here to train up and beat them up. I don't think I've ever caught up to them, to tell you the truth. And just started progressing from there and hung around there, and then got to me blue belt, and Gerald, he comes up to me and goes, "Do you want to do some MMA?" So then MMA sidetracked me, and I was on my blue belt for a while. And then, from there on in, went over to Fighting Arts Fitness in Glenroy, trained there, taught there for a bit. Another retirement. And then Dennis Kelly down with Team Nemesis, and I think it's not Team Nemesis anymore, it's Australian Combat Academy, I think it is. He started hanging out with him, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to come down and train with us?" So hang out with those guys and trained with those guys for a while. Got my brown belt, and then retired again. Went on for a bit, started hanging out with Kim. She was giving me shit, so I thought, all right, put my ass in the gear here. Was dibbled up, did a bit more, retired again, come back, and then I was hanging. Gerald was like, started training a lot with Gerald because he came back onto the scene, and He was like, oh, he wasn't really. You know, I just showed up at a competition one day, the Nationals with John Will. Won the open weight for the brown belts. There was no heavyweight division. No one's that fat these days. The brown belt.
They are these days after COVID.
Yeah. Straight on after the comp, Gerald's waving this black belt at me. I'm like, okay, then I'll accept it. It's like been 20 odd years since I started. I think I started at the turn of the century. So
Wow.
that's how long I've been doing it for, retiring on and off.
That's
Thank
amazing.
God you got your black belt before me, because that would not have been correct for me to be promoted there before you, based on your past. So yeah.
I've got
Yeah,
actually I've got a question. I've got a question around that. So like with the retiring stuff, like what, because Tiago and I were talking about this in the gym the other day. Like people come and then they just disappear. And like to me, that's such a foreign thing because it's something I really would struggle to replace. You know what I mean? Like in COVID, I guess I did somehow. But yeah, when you retire temporarily, do you miss it? Do you fill the hole with something else and then you kind of get distracted and you stop thinking about it? Or are you always thinking about it? Like what is the mental process for someone who's a serial retirer for very, very valid circumstances often? But what is the mindset? Do you like invalidate yourself for it, or are you like, God, I'm so glad I'm not training jiu-jitsu right now because now I've got room for my gardening? Or like, what goes through your mind?
I get easily sidetracked with other things. I'll be like, even if it's like a bad session, I'll just go, nah, fucking quit.
Yeah.
And then I'm out, and then I'll sit around for a while and then go, oh, I've got to do something, and like, whether it be like model trains or do strongman or do just being an annoying pain in the ass for someone, then through the good grace of social media and all that, I'm just watching everybody else progress and go on and do other bigger and better things, and then I'm sitting there like, oh, maybe I should get back to it.
That's good.
And one of those things that sidetracked you, you've mentioned briefly there, was your strongman. We should see if we can link it with when we release this episode. There was a time where you pulled a tractor at the Royal Melbourne Show. Is that right?
Melbourne Show. I've done that for a few years in a row, and they don't do it no more.
Many people died.
Everybody
tractors.
Well, the first time I went, it like down rain 5 minutes beforehand, and I was like, oh, geez, I'm going to be slipping. But luckily enough, I had someone lobbed me a pair of footy boots. So I chucked the footy boots on, and then off I went, and it was a pretty good one. That and one half of the world undisputed world tram pool champions in Ballarat. So my partner Anna, me and her teamed up, and there was like a couples strongman thing, and we're the only ones to pull the tram that year. So
that's awesome, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, have you got that video? We should put that video, because didn't you do it wearing like a bunny head? What did you wear?
I got my panda head.
Your panda head. Yeah, that thing behind him,
it
Anton, he wore while he was doing it. Yeah.
I'm looking on your Facebook right now trying to find it. Is that you falling off your bike?
Probably.
I can quickly share that, considering I don't have like anything else. But if you know where the tractor pull is, I can grab that too. But
you hardly my successes.
Yeah.
My successes on Facebook. I found it's more interesting to show my fuck ups and just.
I love that. That's so cool. That's very, very cool, man. Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I think that like we all put our best foot forward often on social media, but there's no growth in that. Like the real growth is to show, if we've got a booger hanging out of our nose, to show that, because that's like that takes real courage,
It's very courageous then.
I've always noticed that people seem to enjoy it more when my face is being squashed into the mat.
Yeah. 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 And you briefly spoke about your MMA as well. Tell us about that. I know Anton's always very interested in the crossover between BJJ and MMA. So
Absolutely.
how'd you go there?
I don't miss it at all. I don't miss getting punched in the face, especially one of my last fights with Lenny Kent.
Lenny Kent, he's a good mate of mine.
He beat me into like, I ended up with that bad of a concussion after that fight. I was
That
at
was
night.
there. Was that on the Gold Coast?
No, that was up in Toowoomba on King of the Mountain, Joseph Perry show.
Okay. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, he just got me with his right hand, plump right on the temple, and I just remember going, it was like lights. Then I come, it's like finished off the round, and then I'm looking at my corner, and they're going, "Are you ready to go out?" And I've looked at them and gone, "No," and they've just got. He just cut that teed off on me and just beat the living crap out of me.
Oh my God.
I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about it. But fuck you, Lenny.
We should get you and him back on the show together. We'll do a special.
We've had him on too, yeah. We had him on early on in the piece.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. We've had. It's a real who's who now. So you've seen like a lot of change then in jiu-jitsu since you started, yeah? Because I think you even trained with Lockie Giles way back in the beginning, and a lot of the guys from Dominance.
Yeah, when he was a white belt, I trained with. Geez, I'm like a Forrest Gump type. I'm in the background. I'm just there in the background when people come up and it's like, oh, there's this guy, there's that guy, and I'll be there.
I don't think Lockie Giles would be who he is today if you weren't there. Devastator. Yeah. That's what I reckon.
No, they don't want me influencing anybody. So I'll say this about him, even from white belt level, you knew the kid was going places, and he was boom straight to the top. Just amazing, and just amazing to watch him go.
What was it? What was the secret sauce, do you reckon? Like, why can't we all be Lockie Giles?
I don't know. I think he's like one of the X-Men. That's his mutant power.
Okay, fair enough.
That's how good that kid is. He's like he could be an X-Man.
Yeah, fair call.
Yeah. And so what have you seen then in the changes, in jiu-jitsu since you started? Because so you started like around 99, or was that what you saying? Something like that?
Yeah. When I started out, it was just like, double leg, pass guard, side control. It was the basics of the basics. And these days, people are going upside down and doing backflips and weird shit that no comprehension of what's going on. Like a Goo Goo Plata or a Barry Bimbo. I don't understand his names. I can't work out. It's like, you've just gone from caveman. I started out as caveman style to this high-tech spaceship stuff.
That's interesting. Like, what would you say? Because this is a great topic as well. You're a black belt. You've got MMA experience. Like you've faced a lot of adversity in your life as well, and your jiu-jitsu in comparison to like an up and coming like nerdy blue belt, right? Let's say, or for example, like how do you find your game goes? Like does simple and grit and determination still overpower just nerdy technique, or is what do you find? What do you find in that kind of exploration?
I always find that, just keep it raw basics. Seems to work for me. Raw, keep weight. It's like, just even when people are going upside down, I usually find that, just give them the old stuff and just stick to your basics, basically. If you want to chuck
tell him his name, Andrew. Tell Anton and the listeners his name.
This fella here, it's Barry the Brick Shithouse. He even got his own Instagram page. You can go follow him on Instagram, Barry the Brick Shithouse.
Wow. Is that because he's built like one? Is that the plan?
I think they nutted him a bit too late. He had his growth spurt, and then we got him from the second chance home in Thomastown there, and he came up and I go, oh yeah, he's nice. He's good with kids and gets along well with other cats. And of course, he's out in the backyard fighting every other bloody cat in the neighbourhood and attacking me and my daughter. And
So they lied. They basically just lied.
He's ignored me the last 2 months, and as soon as I get on this thing, the mongrels want to know what's going on.
It's funny how homeless, like how cat shelters and dog shelters don't quite tell the truth about what you're getting, but it's often good. But I've had some. I once got a miniature pincher that they told, like, it was this big, full size. They told me it was a Kelpie that was going to be massive, and so I bought this dog to go with my other big dogs. I ended up with this little crazy, maniacal, tiny dog, which just totally was not what I was looking for. But anyway, he's gone to a farm upstate now.
Yeah, my cousin had the same thing. He got this little fox terrier or something, and the monk was about to have Adolf Hitler's brain in it. It was bloody evil.
Yeah.
This cute dog, get it home, and it's just.
Yeah, this is my guy.
Bruno.
I've got my little pup. So yeah.
He
would probably your cat would probably destroy him though. Andrew, he's very small still.
How's he going with Theo?
He's good. Yeah, they're getting along great. They're like best mates. It's like watching the open weight or watching like a white belt against an experienced coloured belt. You're just like, yeah, so much energy. It's actually probably more like boxing at the moment than jiu-jitsu, to be honest. Bruno kind of like ducks and weaves and tries to get away. Dio just lays on his back, but he just bites, with these sharp puppy teeth for now. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Very cute. But that's good that you found the link to jiu-jitsu in puppy handling.
Yes, always. It's always like the open weight actually when you watch staffies anyway, two staffies play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just biting everything. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to sidetrack.
No.
The discussion there.
Right. And are you coaching jiu-jitsu, Andrew?
No. Used to way back when, but right now, so I'm so the laziest black belt you'll ever meet. I've trained a handful of times this year. I know I should be. I'm trying to start to get it rolling and get back to it, but you can count on how many times one hand, how many times I've been to jiu-jitsu this year.
Okay, this is a good question, then I reckon. For those people who struggle, who start and stop and are in and out, what would you say is the number one kind of having to kickstart yourself multiple times? What is the method you use to, if you're feeling like on the outer, like the pain of not training is building, but they're still sitting on the fence, they're still not going back to the gym yet? How do you motivate yourself to get in the door of the gym when you're struggling a bit to go back?
Be a player hater. Find someone you dislike in the game and go, all right, I'm going to train up. I'm going to beat you.
Oh my God, yes. That's what he's saying about you right now.
Man, I could beat that guy. And then it's like, yeah, I'm going to beat him again.
It's really good. I guess that's creating a goal is basically what that is, but a goal that's like fun as well.
And I encourage anyone that I may have bullied around through my journey that's left training and wants to come back, train. Come see me, beat me up. I enjoy it when the younger belts that I've trained with or I've trained over the years come up and just beat the living crap out of me. And it's rewarding to see that they're advanced well beyond me.
That's rare that you're like that, man. Not many people can handle the ego crush of being beaten by people that they've schooled in the past. So
the first thing I learnt before walking in Hangar 4, the guy had a right above the door saying, leave your ego at the door. And since I've started, sometimes I have a little bit of an ego, but most of the time, it's just, you have to get that shit. We're all here to just have some fun, whether it be on the mat or, even in competition. Although winning is much more fun than losing.
I guess it's actually kind of like a compliment to you as well, yeah, when they do beat you, that your training, your teaching help them to get that good.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's all I really like seeing, is people advance, get better, come up, and if they're beating shit out of me, whatever's stressing them in life or that, I hope to God that they're using the same technique to beat whatever else is around them.
Yeah.
School and shit, they can learn, grow, go back and beat the shit out of those bullies.
And what about, is there any chance you're going to be putting on Conan the Barbarian and then competing again anytime soon? Is competing in the future for you?
Oh, no, I stuffed up over COVID and I took up the Uber Eats diet. And I think
yes.
Before I'm competition worthy. Barry, don't bite me toes. I gotta lose a few kilos. So I went surfing last night down at Urban Surf, and that damn near bloody killed me, that thing.
Oh, what's that place like? Yeah.
That is outstanding. I absolutely love it. Went back, because I haven't surfed since, I think it was 98. And I thought I'll do a beginner's class, and went down, done the beginner's class. And yeah, it was start off in the shallows, teach this, catch the wave and all that type of business. By the end of it, I come home and I couldn't move. It's just muscles that I haven't used for a long time.
Yeah. Have you been there?
No, I haven't, but I'd love to do something like that. And I was going to ask you actually about whether you're doing other stuff as well, like your strongman or anything like that. But is that a no?
No. COVID's kicked my dick and I've been absolutely lazy. So I'm starting to get out of it now and I'm coming back. So, all you heavyweights over 100 years old, I'm coming for you.
You're on notice. Yeah. Come to our monthly masters. Kim and I, we have this thing.
Yeah, well, you didn't do it last month, Anton. I guess with the lockdown and everything, couldn't really happen.
A bunch of mature people together once a month for an open match in different gyms. So you'll have to come along one time, man. Yeah, it's the last Sunday of the month, yeah? That's when you run it normally, Anton? Like the end of the month. So, yeah. So this will probably be about the time this is coming out. So, yeah. Yeah. We'll probably do that. So, yeah. Yeah. And so did we, I think, we kind of covered all the sort of through your journey and stuff like that and the stops and starts. But, yeah, like you've really been around for a long time. Yeah. Like you started when Dave Hart and Mini Dave and Big Dave and all of those guys were coming up as well. Yeah. So you've definitely been around. Probably, were you one of the early people of jiu-jitsu, you reckon? Like, was there a lot of jiu-jitsu around when you started?
No, it was kind of like there was the hangar. John Will had his thing down in Geelong. Yeah, Pete the Bean out.
Yep.
There weren't as many these days. These days it's like a franchise, on every different bloody corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, and back then it was just basics. I think we had about 3 black belts in Australia.
Would you say was the jiu-jitsu? Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go on.
There being John, Pete the Bean, and John Donahue. Brazil, that type of business. But yeah, it was just early days.
And jiu-jitsu was kind of like really more for dealing with, well, this is what I interpret based on talking to the others. Like it seemed like it was just how to deal with the game if it got to the ground, but more like for MMA, let's say, it was like, okay, jiu-jitsu is if it goes to the ground, this is what you do, or when it goes to the ground, this is what you do. But ultimately, you want to get back to the feet and keep striking. It seems like that's where jiu-jitsu kind of really started to make a name for itself in Australia. But is that true, or is that I misinterpreted that?
It just depends on how you play your game, really. The thing that I did like about Hangar is that they did have some good wrestling coaches come in there. I think it was. He come in every now and again, was teaching some. That's where I learnt my takedowns from. But for me, that was just strike, takedown, pass, and then just beat the living crap out of them.
Yeah, but back to the striking. That's what I mean. Yeah, it was like, ground and pound. Yeah.
Yeah, like your Mark Coleman's or your stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ian Fry. Don Fry, sorry. Yeah, just keep it. That's always been my go. Just keep it simple.
Actually, that's something I've really noticed is like in MMA, they did have submissions back in the early days of, UFC, etc., but they didn't have the escapes that they have now. Like the things people escape now is what really blows me away. Is like you can have triangles cinched up tight and people are surviving and then getting out and then getting to top, just doing amazing things like that you would not have seen. Like back in the old days, if you got caught in an armbar, you were gone or your arm would get broken. And now people are just transitioning so amazingly.
Yeah, well, best way to get out of that stuff is consistently put yourself in the shit. Put yourself in that triangle. Learn to get out. Let someone get you back all the time. Learn to get out. That was also the other. I've done a lot of that over my time, and I've been consistent to this day. Even though I haven't trained for a while, I still know how to get out of the bloody armbar and all that type of stuff. So,
absolutely. I'm looking.
Yeah, I reckon the standard's much higher now than certainly than when I started. So I imagine it's going to be 10 times more than you.
Kids of today would beat the absolute living shit out of me back then. But,
Same. And so where do you see, I guess someone that's got as much experience as you, we have to ask, like, where do you see then the future of jiu-jitsu? Like there's a lot of people that are saying, the gi's dead. Maybe it's no gi all the way now. Obviously the legs are much more attacked than they were, even 10 years ago. What's your predictions?
Gi's not dead. Never die. No gi game. That's always going to be around. My prediction is everyone's going to have fun. All right. So, fucking have fun with it. Don't be over too technical or give you a philosophical view of this crap. Go out there, have fun with it.
I fucking love you, man. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. Have fun. Such good advice. Really
That's
is.
it. That's it. People do take jiu-jitsu pretty seriously. So, yeah, it's good to have that side of the coin. So, yeah, that's about it. Did you have any other things you wanted to add? Any other points? We're nearly out of time.
No, it's like, apart from, I could tell you the ninja story about Hangar 4, but I'll save that for another time.
Oh, no, you can't leave us hanging. There's still time.
Yeah. Can't leave us hanging without
I hate that.
Yeah.
This last times I've seen some of the old school fellas, the ninjas at Hangar 4. So we get strange enough. I think one of the fellas has come in and said we're getting ninjas today. And we're like, ninjas? What the hell's going on here? And they said apparently these ninjas have got to grade up to black belt, so they've got to go around to different clubs and fight and take on. I don't know how ninjas do it.
God.
Pretty much chosen the wrong club to walk into. And I think it was Big Lee from Southside Fitness. He walks in. He comes running in and goes, "The ninjas are here! The ninjas are here!" And we're like, "Cool." So the ninjas pulled up in their Toyota Camry, got out like full, nunchuckers and all that. And we've got a warning. If they come in, they're going to beat and we start laughing at them, they're going to beat us all up.
Oh my God.
So, they come in and there's, all right, yeah, we've done this. I was off the mat on the side for some reason. I was just wanted to watch this spectacle, and all the other fellas there on the mat. And they're like, all right, let's go. So I think it was Dave Hart had the first go and just beated this poor bugger and berated him. Yeah. Then there was another dude, Dad John, I forget his last name there. So he comes out, he hits a pretty good wrestler. He just picks this guy up, throws him. He hits the nice. Swear to God, he's hit the roof, comes down flat. He's standing over and go, right, we're not fucking around here. Just no. And then they've gone, all right, just to make it even. They're looking at these ninjas and going, we'll let you pick anyone from this lineup. You can take them on. And he's like, right. So these ninjas, they're getting in their huddle, they're talking. It's like, they walk all right. And there's this 13-year-old kid on the end. Like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, nah. So it was a bit of a, should we learn? The kid's like, yeah, let me do it. This guy's 27. This 13 taking on this 13-year-old kid. So bang, go. 27-year-old's just flinging the poor little bugger around. Gets in, starts smashing him into the ground. And everyone's like, I think we should stop it. I think we should do it. And this little bugger's just like, slides out, hits this dude's back, sinks on this back choke, and just squeezes it. It's dying. So he's up.
Oh my God.
Okay, this kid's this 27-year-old, he's up. He's running for the toilet and just starts heaving everywhere.
The power of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Just handed him his ass, and I think, what was it? They ended up coming back. They did one class and never seen again.
Amazing. Wow.
Ken Rowe or Lee Impey, I talk to those guys, they'll have a better version of it for you.
That's an amazing story. Holy shit.
Awesome.
Well,
We're nearly out of time.
Half left.
That's about it. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate you giving up your time. And we will have this podcast out in a couple of weeks. So if you could share it with your people, we can help grow our audience because we're out there.
Yeah,
on all the social medias now.
Have fun, and jiu-jitsu is better than ninjutsu. I got that.
Very good ninjas. You can see them. Screw those guys. But thank you for having me on. You guys are beautiful.
You're welcome.
Just have fun. Don't be a fucking scientist about jiu-jitsu. Just go out there.
Works for me.
Will do.
See you later, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
And see you, Barry. See ya.
See you, Bruno.
No, he's gone too.